This week, critical fixes land across Microsoft platforms. An industrial inverter flaw exposes credential risks, and a Windows 10 ESU update adds visibility for secure boot certificate changes. Here's what defenders need to know right now. Welcome to your operational cybersecurity briefing. I'll cover the broad patching trends shaping this week's priorities, the Siemens Keiko Blue Planet inverter vulnerabilities, Microsoft's June 2026 Patch Tuesday with 200 fixes and 3 publicly disclosed zero-day vulnerabilities, and the Windows 10 KB5094127 Extended Security Update. I'll keep it focused on impacts and actions you can take. Starting with the daily trend, multiple vendors release security patches or advisories addressing newly disclosed vulnerabilities. The key fact here is volume and velocity. Several suppliers are dropping fixes and guidance in a tight window, increasing the coordination burden on IT and OT teams. This matters because patch clusters compress testing and deployment timelines and can widen exposure if organizations stagger updates too slowly across similar technologies. The Defender takeaway: tighten your change window planning this week. Triage by exposure and privilege first, group like-for-like assets to reduce variance, and apply vendor-recommended mitigations where maintenance windows are constrained. Ensure your vulnerability management tooling ingests the latest advisories, and that you track partial coverage versus full remediation, especially for internet-facing systems. Now to Siemens Keiko Blue Planet inverters. The headline context: multiple vulnerabilities could allow an attacker to derive device credentials from the serial number and use them for unauthorized access. Key facts: the vendor has released new versions for several affected products and recommends updating to the latest available releases. Additional fixes are in preparation, and countermeasures are recommended for products where patches are not yet available. Why this matters: compromised access to power inverters can enable unauthorized configuration changes, data exposure, or service disruption within energy and industrial environments, with potential operational and safety implications when devices are reachable from less trusted networks. The Defender takeaway: inventory any Keiko Blue Planet devices, confirm model and firmware versions, and apply the vendor's updates immediately where available. For models awaiting fixes, implement the vendor's countermeasures and reduce exposure. Remove direct internet access, restrict management interfaces to a dedicated management network, and monitor for unusual authentication attempts. Document serial number handling and physical labeling practices, and ensure remote support pathways are locked down until fixes are deployed. Turning to Microsoft's June 2026 Patch Tuesday. The context: Microsoft released security updates addressing 200 flaws, including 3 publicly disclosed zero-day vulnerabilities. The key facts are scope and urgency, broad coverage across the ecosystem, and multiple zero days that are already known publicly, which increases the likelihood of exploit development and reduces the defender's time cushion. This matters because large multi-component updates can leave inconsistent risk if patch rollouts lag across endpoints, servers, and cloud-connected services. The Defender takeaway: prioritize deployment on internet-exposed assets and high-value targets first, then move to the wider fleet. Validate that your update rings include server workloads and not just user endpoints. Where immediate patching isn't feasible, apply available mitigations from official guidance and enable logging and alerting for behaviors commonly associated with exploit activity. Track exceptions explicitly and set deadlines to close them. After deployment, verify coverage with both patch compliance reports and vulnerability scans to catch drift. Finally, Microsoft released the Windows 10 KB5094127 Extended Security Update. The update includes fixes for the June 2026 Patch Tuesday vulnerabilities and introduces functionality to monitor the rollout of updated secure boot certificates that replace those expiring this month. Why this matters: secure boot certificate transitions can affect device trust and boot integrity. Visibility into certificate rollout helps prevent gaps where devices might fail to validate or fall back to weaker states. For organizations still relying on Windows 10 under extended servicing, this is also a compliance and continuity checkpoint. The Defender takeaway: confirm your Windows 10 ESU eligibility and apply KB5094127 where applicable. Use the new monitoring capability to inventory certificate status across your fleet. Identify systems that have not yet received the updated secure boot certificates, and plan remediation before the older certificates expire. Coordinate with endpoint management and identity teams so certificate changes are tracked alongside OS patch compliance, and capture this in your audit artifacts. That's the roundup. If this helped you prioritize your week, subscribe for ongoing operational briefings, share it with your team, and drop a comment with any coverage gaps you want us to address next time.